Josh's Movie Reviews here, and I've returned once more from the grave to bring you more movie reviews. Today's movie review of Corner Gas the Movie. After you watch this video, be sure to check out my top 10 best Corner Gas episodes in Josh's Movie Reviews. Corner Gas, a 22-minute long, award-winning sitcom that debuted on CTV from 2004 to 2009. It calculated a total of 107 episodes and 6 seasons. This hit Canadian series became so popular it started to gain a following in the USA.
They call you cheeseheads there, right?
From all its success, it became a staple in Canadian comedy, which fell behind hits like The Red Green Show, This Hour is 22 Minutes, and The Kids in the Hall. So what was Corner Gas about to be hailed as one of the greatest Canadian comedies of all time? Well, the story centered around the lives of 8 people at a gas station in a town in the middle of nowhere called Dog River, Saskatchewan. How could a show about nothing receive so much attention? Well, actually a part of it was because of the wondrous Canadian writing talents of David Story and Mark Farrell. They were the ones who kept the story fresh and funny. Actually, Mark Farrell's previous credentials included work on, This Hour is 22 Minutes and The Red Green Show. Go figure. Anyways, Corner Gas has been one of my favorite shows ever since I first watched it in 2006 at a friend's house. I was around 8 years old at the time, and since then, I've been watching and rewatching episodes as they hit the air, collecting an abundance of merchandise. Just look at all this crap. Keychains, t-shirts, mugs, a Christmas ornament, a bottle opener, a deck of cards, a hat, all the box sets on DVD, both the episode guides, which I used to read religiously before going to bed. I even own a prop from the set which I won in an online Corner Gas auction. It even came with a postcard. It was really nice. Corner Gas even had an online promotion where I got to participate in an online discussion board where I got to ask the members of the cast some questions. So naturally, I printed off the discussions that I've had with the cast members and I placed it in my memorabilia folder. Boy, some of the questions I asked were just ridiculous. Of course, as you can imagine, once I found out they were making a Corner Gas movie earlier this year, I was excited as a kid at Christmas. I couldn't believe it. A TV show I remember so vividly from my childhood will be making a reappearance on the big screen. Seeing the gang on the big screen was a dream of mine ever since the end of the show was such a great finale on
April 13th, 2009.
No way.
So I forced my girlfriend to come with me on the opening night it was in theaters. I apologize for the slight delay of this review, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. I just didn't have my equipment at the time, but now I do. So here's a review of Corner Gas the movie. Spoiler warning. Heavy spoilers in this review. This is the first film I've actually seen in theaters that didn't follow the traditions of standard films in theaters. Before the film played, replacing trailers, there were games and trivia and sing-alongs. That's right, there was a Corner Gas theme song sing-along the whole theater participated in. And guess what happened just before the film started? We all stood up and sang the Canadian national anthem. This couldn't even be more Canadian. I loved it. The whole crowd was roaring. So now it's been
April 13th, 2009.
since the last episode of Corner Gas. And I bet you guys are waiting. You probably want to know. How is this show about nothing's film spin-off beginning? Well, it was kind of a modest beginning, you know. It started off with werewolves, robots, and gunfire. Alright, that was just Hank Street. But not only was this a hilarious way to start the film, but you can also see where that $285,840 Kickstarter dollars went into. Thank you, fans. I'd also like to mention just how awesomely these characters have aged. I mean, it's been 4 years since the last episode and 10 years since the first episode, and they don't look like they've aged at all. Sorry, I digress. Now about the plot. I have to say, the Corner Gas movie was a little more fast-paced and a lot more complicated than any episode of Corner Gas that I remember. Of course, it's a movie, but it's impossible to review the movie without talking about the show because the movie happened because of the show. That's why I say, if you didn't watch the show, you shouldn't watch this movie. But that's the way it was made to be. It's a sequel to the series, it's not a standalone film. The main plot is focused on Dog River decaying because of bad mayoral skills on behalf of Fitzy Fitzgerald.
That's not a very welcoming sight.
He sold the town's funds, leaving no electricity, no water, and no governance. It's up to the gang to come up with a plan to save the town. Except, they all end up having different ideas. Brent buys the bar that went under, Lacey turns the electricity back on, Wanda starts a business in Davis' garage, and Hank ends up ruining the town even more by bringing a giant corporate business to town called Cough Nuts.
We got coffee, we got donuts, sugar and caffeine. Let's all go nuts.
These guys end up being the main plot of the film. They end up having ulterior motives to buy every property in the town. Meanwhile, Karen is pregnant, probably because the actor was in real life and they had to figure out a way to explain it. Davis is retired and becomes a private investigator. Emma wants Brent and Lacey to have her grandchildren, and Oscar becomes a survivalist to prepare for the downfall of Dog River. Wow, for an hour and a half long film, this gets complicated. But that's the beauty of Corner Gas though. It can have a lot of things going on in it at once, with many plots and subplots, and it all comes together in the end. And that's exactly what happened in this film.
Double lunch day.
Now remember when I said there was spoilers at the beginning? That was just to explain the main plot. The ending is up to you. I don't want to spoil anything because I know there's some diehard fans out there. But I just want you to know, overall, I just love this movie.
And you know what? This whole dang movie was like watching an episode of Corner Gas. The comedy was quirky at times, clever at times. It was a little more fast-paced here and there. But overall, the entire feel just felt like an episode of Corner Gas. And it was amazing because they just blended the ideas and the comedy and that joke so well. And it just made you feel like there was not a lot going on. And I think that's why we all love Corner Gas.
So now we turn to a new segment on Josh's movie reviews called Plus and Minuses for Corner Gas the movie. So here we go. Plus, there were werewolves, robots, guns, and explosions. Man, that's badass. Plus, it just felt like an episode of Corner Gas. It was awesome. Plus, I loved the length. It was a perfect amount of time. Plus, there was a perfect amount of screen time given to the characters. Nobody had any more or less. It just kind of felt right. Plus, David Story's great Canadian writing that got Corner Gas to where it is today. Now here are the minuses. Minus. There was kind of awkward music placement sometimes. Minus. I found there was too much panning. I guess I found this to be a little bit distracting as it was different from all the stagnant shots in the TV series. And plus and minus. It was a hilarious but kinda slightly convoluted plotline. Okay, remember when I said there was no spoilers and then I told you that there was spoilers and then I said there wasn't spoilers? Well, prepare for the biggest spoiler of this movie ever. Probably in the entire series. If you have not seen this film, but you love Corner Gas, I want you to shut this video off right now. Because this is the biggest spoiler ever. This is a plus and minus Brent and Lacey's romance at the very end of the movie. I'm not quite sure how to feel about it. I know it was coming in the TV show, but it never did. So I guess I kind of felt like it would hang on there. I don't really know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, favorite it, tell your friends, buy a dog, have a good time, live your life. Merry Christmas.